the revelation that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam received is from the Satan? Is that what he is trying to say here? By the way, I'm talking about a comment by someone that present two hadiths, and I'm wondering what's the point of the hadith being brought in this comment. So we'll take a look at the hadith. How did Muhammad receive his revelation? It's a ringing sound in his head. And narrated Aisha, Al-Harith bin Hisham asked, how does the divine inspiration come to you? In all these ways. Okay, this is truncated from a longer hadith actually, because this is one of the several ways. So one of it is, the angels sometimes come to me with a voice which resembles the sound of a ringing bell. Prophet Muhammad SAW described how it sounds like, meaning that that's his description that he used. And then in another hadith, Abu Hurairah reported Prophet Muhammad SAW as saying, or Allah's Messenger as saying, SAW, the bell is the musical instrument of the Satan. Of course, the elaboration of this hadith, different interpretation on that, especially some consider that is linked to another hadith where this is about the bell that people have on the dog. But anyway, what's the point here and here, right? Because there's no elaboration to this comment. He just simply says this hadith and then put this hadith. I'm wondering whether it is brought together to build a perception as if it is related. And I'm wondering how many people feels that it is related just because there's bell here and bell here, right? Just because there's correlation, so is it linked in any way? This is a description of how does it sound. Prophet Muhammad SAW basically described it similar to what, right? It resembles to what? While this is actually about the bell itself. So I'm not sure what's the point of this comment, but I do understand that this will reinforce someone who have already certain preconceived perception of something, and when people bring something like this, they said, that seals it, that really confirm it. I can understand that it is easy to trick people who already have an inclination towards something, and then you bring anything, even though it doesn't really have a logical sense there, but because it reinforces something that's already there, people see it as convincing. But for those who really take a look at this and, okay, what are you trying to say here? What exactly are you trying to say here? My next comment is not necessarily specific to this guy that made this comment here. I have seen this kind of technique being used a lot. I'm wondering whether it is one, there is an issue with the intellectual capability or capacity to really able to go through information in an objective manner. That's one possibility. Or they simply disregard of any of those objectivity, etc., disregard it, and they have the approach of the ends justify the means, right? The ends justify the means, and because the ends for them is they want to paint Islam, for example, in a very negative way. Hence, whatever the means is, logical, not logical, don't care. The ends justify the means. This sort of comment, this technique is not unusual. It's not unusual. So I'm wondering whether it is people actually have the problem with being able to be objective in understanding text, verses, etc., or they don't care really what it means, but anything that they can use to achieve their ends, the ends will justify the means. Whatever they can do, they will do it. That's the question in my mind every time I see this kind of things being mentioned, right? Anyway, so what do you think? This is just a simple question because I'm wondering that between the two probabilities, that's the only possibilities that I can think of. But if there is any other explanation, feel free to share. Thank you for watching. See you next time.